third day of excavation, arranged in a perfect circle beneath the temple floor, and I swear to God they were watching me before I even removed the first layer of earth. My name is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and I've spent 15 years excavating forgotten civilizations. The site was outside a village in Crete that locals refused to name, calling it only the place where children don't play. When our radar detected the chamber, the village elder came personally, a woman so old her face resembled carved driftwood. She spoke 4 words of English: cover it. Go home. We didn't listen. The chamber was 8 meters down, hidden beneath a Byzantine church built over a Roman temple built over something far older. The stones predated any known construction technique, inscribed with symbols that seemed to shift when you weren't looking directly at them. When we opened the chamber, impossibly cold air escaped, smelling like copper and something organic that made my stomach clench. In the center sat 9 figures in a perfect circle around a stone table. They weren't mummies or skeletons, something between. Parchment skin stretched over elongated bones, wearing robes that absorbed light. Their skulls were conical with deep eye sockets tunneling endlessly inward. Everyone faced the center, where a black stone owl stood, its eyes 2 holes of absolute darkness. The locals crossed themselves at the owl symbol, calling it the one who watches between. We documented everything professionally, but I noticed disturbing details. Minimal dust, as if something kept the chamber clean. The figure's positioning was too precise, deliberate waiting, not death. Their desiccated fingers had carved into the stone tablets they held, as if flesh and rock had merged over millennia. When we left that evening, the figure facing the door had tilted its head to a different angle. That night, I dreamed of sitting in that circle, holding a tablet while something ancient whispered directly into my brain. I woke screaming at 3 a.m., my tent filled with that copper smell. Tommy, my assistant, was crying in his tent. Marcus was pacing outside, hands shaking. But at dawn, we went back down. The second day, we discovered the tablets weren't blank. Under UV light, thousands of micro-inscriptions appeared. Marcus set up time-lapse cameras while I examined the owl statue. It was heavier than stone should be, and warm. When I shone my light into its eye holes, the beam spiraled inward and disappeared. I found myself leaning closer, trying to see where the light went. Marcus yanked me back. "Don't look into it," he said, voice cracking. I'd been leaning there for 20 minutes. Tommy was on the floor, rocking, counting in ancient Greek, numbers that should have been forgotten. That night, I reviewed Marcus's footage. For hours, nothing changed. Then at exactly midnight, the figure closest to the door moved. It turned its head completely around to face the camera, jaw opening in a silent scream. The other figures followed, one by one, screaming soundlessly for 7 minutes. Then they snapped back so quickly the footage blurred. Tommy was still counting, his eyes bleeding from the corners. "We have to go back," Marcus said. The third day, we entered at dawn. The figures were unchanged, but the tablets had new inscriptions. In English. 9 who watched. 9 who knew. 9 who wait. The circle demands completion. Tommy started laughing like breaking glass. Marcus read another tablet. When 9 becomes 10, the watching ends. When 10 becomes 9, the watching begins again. The circle turns. The circle hungers. That's when they moved. They stood up, bones creaking, parchment skin tearing to reveal something glistening beneath. They remained in their circle but impossibly tall now, heads nearly touching the ceiling. Their robes fell away, revealing bodies with too many joints, too many curves. Then they turned to face us. Tommy ran, screaming up the shaft. Marcus grabbed my arm, but I couldn't move. I stared at their faces, at what filled those eye sockets. Not emptiness. Eyes. Hundreds of small black eyes clustered like insect eggs, everyone looking at me. They all began to hum. The the symbols on the walls writhed. The figures walked slowly around the circle, performing some ritual older than civilization. Marcus screamed in my face and broke my paralysis. We ran. We climbed. Behind us, stone grinding on stone, something ancient beginning to move. We made it to the surface. Tommy's flashlight lay discarded near the village path. Marcus and I collapsed the shaft ourselves, working through the night with trembling hands. The elder appeared at dawn and nodded. Now you know why the children don't play here. 3 months ago, we published nothing. Tommy's body was found 2 weeks later in his apartment, sitting at his desk, eyes missing, mouth frozen in that silent scream. Natural causes, the coroner said. That night, I received an email from Marcus, a photograph of the chamber, taken by a camera that should have been destroyed. The figures were back in their circle, but there were only 8 now. I've stopped sleeping in darkness. I've stopped looking at circles. The elder told me before we left, the circle always completes itself. The question is not if, but who. Yesterday, I felt warmth in my hands like ancient stone. Last night, I dreamed of sitting, holding a tablet, waiting with patient hunger for the next archaeologist to break the seal. The circle demands completion. I can feel myself wanting to return to Crete. The urge grows stronger each day. Soon, I'll book a flight. Soon, I'll find that village again. Soon, I'll climb down and take my seat, and the circle will be 9 again. Until the next one comes. Until the next curious mind breaks the seal. Until the watching begins anew.